Hello Primary 7, this is a special video just for you. I'm going to begin with some believe it or not facts. I'm wondering whether you might believe this or not. All the electricity powering the internet weighs the same as an apricot. Do you think that's true? What about this one? A hippo's jaw opens wide enough to fit a sports car inside. Do you think a hippo's jaw opens wide enough that a sports car could go inside? Or what about this one? It would take 19 minutes to fall from the North Pole to the Earth's core. 19 minutes. That's quite a fall. Do you think that's how long it would take? Do you know the answers to all those three, believe it or not, questions are true. They're all true. All the electricity powering the internet does weigh the same as an apricot. A hippo's jaw can open wide enough to fit a sports car inside. And it does take 19 minutes to fall from the North Pole into the Earth's core. Do you know, as we come to the end of the school year, who would have believed that every school in the UK, apart from the hubs, have been closed since March? Who would have believed that Primary 7 would be leaving to go to high school without the usual leavers, concerts, parties, services and all the rest? And the truth is that the last few months of your final year at primary school have not gone to plan. It's not been what you would have expected, it's not been what you would have hoped for or what you would have deserved. But here's the thing. There's a choice for you about what you do for the future. Some people can blame things that have gone wrong and can blame things for the rest of their lives as the reason why they don't do as well as they could have. And others will use it as a catalyst for change. So here's the challenge to you Primary 7s, to use lockdown as a catalyst for change. Because challenges either make us more resilient and determined to succeed, or we can allow them to be our excuse for failing. I'm wondering about what it is that you've learned through the other 6 3/4 years of your time at primary school. You are the leavers in lockdown. You are the year group that will never be forgotten because you're the only year group for whom this has happened. And I'm wondering what it is you've learned during your time at school and out of school. What's been good about this year? What's been tough this year? What's surprised you? What are you going to take with you onto next year, the next academic year? What is it you're going to leave behind? What are you discovering about yourself in lockdown? One of the things I've discovered is that when my church was closed down back in March and we couldn't meet to have services or to meet in groups as we would usually do, that we found other ways to do that. The church went online and we've been meeting over Zoom, a word I'd never even heard of before lockdown. And many people are finding different ways to still stay in touch. And I'll be honest, I've enjoyed not having so many evening meetings. During lockdown, we've been considering what are the things in life that are important to us. Sometimes we've been rushing about from here and there. There's not been time to consider. But during the slowing down phase of lockdown, we've been able to appreciate more, perhaps, family and friends. We've been showing our appreciation to the NHS and for all frontline workers during the clapping and banging of pots on a Thursday night. And then there's been that extraordinary kindness of neighbours, friends, strangers for one another, looking out for one another and offering to help out, to get the shopping or to pick up things to be of help to their neighbour. So I'm wondering if the things that you've learned through lockdown you can hold on to and take them with you. And I hope that you will find high school enjoyable and challenging as you move on to the next part of your education. Life is a journey. We move from the old to the new. You know, when I became a minister in the Church of Scotland, I got a number of gifts, but one of the gifts that I display in the walls of the manse is this labyrinth here. Now, a labyrinth is just, it's an old Greek form of a maze. And if you look closely, you can see that in a labyrinth, you start at one of the points and you try and work your way through and you try and get to the centre. But sometimes you end up going and finding a dead end and you have to retrace your way all the way back and see if you can find another way round into the centre. And it can take you all different routes. It's not straightforward. It's a little bit like life. We hit dead ends, we hit points in the road that we can't go any further, so we have to take another route round. Life is a bit like that in the journey. But please know, Primary 7, that we don't journey alone, that God journeys with us. And whether you believe in God or whatever form of God that you believe in, God journeys with us. On the back of this, you might be able to see the inscription. It's got my name and various things. And then it says here, "Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." And I think that's a wonderful verse for you to think about too, that as you go forward into the new challenges of high school after the summer, that you don't travel alone, that God goes with you and that you can be strong and courageous in all you do. I know that you will persevere and that you are a determined year group. Interestingly, the labyrinth was made from a blown over sycamore tree. It had been blown over in a storm and it no longer was able to survive on its own, and so it had been turned into something quite beautiful. So even things that happen that are not so good can turn into very beautiful things. So be strong and courageous and know that God is with you, that change lies ahead and it is not so scary. So behind me you see that there are some white sheets of card, and I wanted to share what's on them with you. So let's have a look at what's on the first one. We've got C for the first letter of change. Change comes all the time. It comes all the time, letter C. It happens to all of us. Amazing things can happen. Nothing stays the same. Great times lie ahead. Enjoy. Enjoy your summer holidays when they come, and enjoy high school. I look forward to seeing you there as chaplain of Auchmuty, for those of you who go to Auchmuty.